Welcome to our Back to School with Rose paid media team. Today, me and Rebecca are going to be presenting some tools, tags, and trends across Amazon, social, and PPC. So let's start with Google Ads. What I try to do here is to focus on the most important industry updates. So this will be not that much, not that technical because I want it to be relevant for everyone, but the updates are around July until September. So first of all, Google Analytics launched predictive audiences that can be used on Google Ads. This is very, very interesting. So the way it works, there are a few requirements. You need to have at least 1,000 conversions and 1,000 people that went to your website and didn't convert. This is because then Google has enough statistical relevance to create the list of people that are likely to be first-time buyers in the next 7 days and people who are likely not to buy in your website in the next 7 days. I think it's really good to give examples on how this can be relevant for your Google Ads campaigns. So one example would be to target really generic keywords, which you wouldn't do normally, but then add this layer as a targeting functionality on as the audience, and then you just target people that are likely to buy in the next 7 days and are searching for generic keywords. You can also use the predictive metrics, which is basically what builds the predictive audiences, and then you can understand what leads specific marketing campaigns to be more successful than others. This is located on the analysis module of Google Analytics. Again, feel free to ask any questions on the Q&A and then we will answer in the end. Another update on Google Ads is that now they merged custom intent and custom affinity audiences in what they now call custom audiences. If you had already set up custom intent and custom affinity, you don't need to worry. Google will automatically migrate to what they call now custom audience, but it's a really nice functionality. So you can choose between people with any of these interests, which is and purchase intention, which used to be the custom affinity, or people who search for any of these terms on Google, which was custom intent. This is available across YouTube, Gmail, and display and discovery campaigns. And you can also add people who use apps similar to, or people who visited these places. And then you can put specific places. Just something to keep in mind, if you add people who use specific apps and places, this is going to expand your audience, not to make them smaller. Another interesting feature is that you can see the demographics and how many people you will reach on the right-hand side on the custom audiences screen. Now, some bad news. I guess most of you already know, but Google will start charging 2% tax for all the Google Ads invoices. Something to keep in mind, this is not going to be available on the actual tool. So if you are on the Google Ads platform, all the investment and all the costs in the platform won't be take in consideration this 2% increase. The 2% increase will only be on the final invoice. This is also something that Google is charging in Turkey and Austria. It's because of government taxes. But in my perspective, at least Facebook didn't pass this through the customers. They are going to pay for this increase in costs. And Amazon, for example, instead of charging Amazon advertisers on the Amazon advertising side of things, they are going to charge more on product fees and more on the seller and vendor side of things. But yeah, again, remember that this 2% will be charged on the invoice. So if you already have a budget set until the end of the year, you need to let your agencies, or you need to keep in mind to reduce by 2% or get some 2% additional budget to any Google Ads campaigns. Now going to paid search specifically. So this was a test that Google was rolling out and a lot of people was really scared. So basically, when you went to the platform and wanted to start creating an ad, the only option they will give you would be a responsive search ads. Actually, not the only option. If you clicked in this switch back to text ads, then you have the possibility of creating the standard expanded text ads. But what this tells us is that Google is pushing more and more the machine learning, the automation side of things, which we already know. But this scared a lot of people because not everyone had the opportunity to test responsive search ads at the moment. This is because a lot of companies have compliance issues in terms of approving responsive search ads because you have less control on the order of the messaging that you are going to show to customers. Just for those who don't know, responsive search ads allow you to create up to 15 headlines and 4 descriptions, and machine learning is going to combine the most effective combinations to start showing to users more. You can pin one of the headlines, but generically speaking, you have much less control than expanded text ads. So this is something to keep in mind. Some considerations. Responsive search ads are supposed to increase your conversions and your traffic. It's something that we've seen working really well for our clients, but at the same time, the reports is really limited. So we can't get as many insights as we get from expanded text ads. So we can see, for example, all the combinations and why some of the combinations perform more than others. So yeah, and another thing is, as I mentioned, you have less control on the messaging. But my recommendation is, if you haven't implemented responsive search ads, now is the time, because we expect in the near future that this might be something that Google will be forcing or prioritizing over expanded text ads. And on the good news side of things on responsive search ads is that Google is improving the functionalities. So in the beginning, we couldn't add ad customizers to responsive search ads, but it seems like Google is developing the product. So now they are allowing location insertion and countdown on responsive search ads. This is very, very exciting. So the countdown is very important if you have specific sales, because it helps to show when the sales are going to end, and this might help with your CTR. And location is super, super important in the headline. So if you can add this functionality automatically, it's even better. Something interesting is that people searching for near me used to be a thing in the past. Searches for near me were increasing quite a lot, but now people are already expecting Google to show the most relevant results based on their location. So having the location in your ads is something very important. So this is a really exciting update. Again, if you have any questions, please ask on the Q&A or on the chat. Another bad news for some advertisers. So Google is limiting the search terms reporting. A lot of advertisers have said that they are seeing 20% less search queries in their search query reports. This is because Google stated that they want to maintain their standards of privacy, so they are only going to show search terms that have a significant number of users. I guess the main question is, what is considered a significant number of users? This will be up to Google, but at the same time, for smaller advertisers or for companies where excluding and adding more negative keywords to the campaigns, this might be a problem. But yeah, let's see how this develops. A lot of people are complaining because 20% is quite a significant change. But for bigger companies, this is not that big of an issue. Now going into GDN and YouTube. I mentioned a few updates on responsive search ads, but Google has also improved their responsive display ads. Again, this is just showing how Google is wanting to push machine learning and automation and helping advertisers to decrease costs on and decrease the amount of time spent in creating their assets, either on a paid search perspective or on a display perspective. So they created new ad designs, as you can see on the first screenshot. And they are also providing the option of creating for free quick videos. This will be based on images you can just insert, and then Facebook will create the video for you. And also they have a better looking ads for retail, just with the name of the company and the product and the logo. It looks better. So yeah, that's also good news. Again, responsive search ads are going to combine different assets, and they will start showing the most relevant ones. So it's really good that they are improving the design, because this will decrease costs on the creative side of things, and it will allow you to invest more on paid media. Some good news, again, in terms of creative. Google is simplifying the image requirements for app campaigns. I don't know if you were used to app campaigns, but before there were so many different ad formats that you had to produce. But now they are just requiring 3 aspect ratios: square, landscape, and portrait. And they also have increased the image file size, which is really, really good, because the quality of the creatives can be much better. So from 150 kilobytes to 5 megabytes. So that's a significant change. On the other side of things, they are also trimming the approved file format. So they are going to disable GIFs and just keep JPEG and PNG. So keep that in mind if you're promoting any app campaigns. This is very exciting. So Google, they are launching new lead form extensions for YouTube, and later on in the year they will also roll out this on display campaigns. So this is just lead form extension that you can add to your campaigns, where instead of going to the website, people can fill the form within the platform. We see generally really good results, not only across Google, but LinkedIn and Facebook also have this functionality. So if you need really soft leads, this is a really good start. So yeah, and also they've added more field information. So now you can collect information like city, state, country, and also business contact information. So this is really good for B2B companies. So you can include company name, job title, work emails, and work phone. Now going to Google Shopping, more specifically Smart Shopping. Google is now offering a new goal. So you can add a new customer acquisition value, if that makes sense for you. But they also created new visuals. Most of this still in beta is mainly in the US, but this example is a video content on display ad for Smart Shopping campaigns. And once the person is already searching for something more specific, so instead of furniture, for example, they are searching for side chairs, they are offering, at least for US users, a carousel of options of companies, and each of the tabs they can see the products. I guess that will start a war for you to be the first tab, because then you have much more visibility. And another thing that they are doing, they are adding a tag in the creative. I know it's really small, sorry, but this is one example of free and fast delivery annotation on shopping ads in the US. They are going to add more annotations in the future. But yeah, this is very, very exciting for Smart Shopping. Now going into social. I think most of you might have already know about this, but I thought it would be really relevant to talk about. But Facebook launched Instagram and Facebook Shops. For those who don't know, the whole idea is to help small and medium businesses that were affected during coronavirus and that not necessarily have a website. So the whole idea is to do the process of purchasing items within Facebook, instead of driving users to their own websites. This could be because it's a more native and seamless process rather than going to the websites. The only issue is that the checkout is not available for all the countries, just in the US at the moment. So this is something Facebook is going to make available for other countries until the end of this year. Also, another thing that Facebook is providing for small businesses is paid online events. So what Facebook has done is to create this platform for free for small businesses, so they can promote their paid events, so people can purchase the access to a paid event within Facebook. This starts showing one argument that Facebook is having with Apple, because when they launched this, they wanted to be completely free for these small businesses that are struggling during COVID, and Facebook allowed for free. But the problem is, for everyone that is booking through a mobile, it means that they need to buy in-app purchase, and Apple charges 30%. Facebook got in touch with Apple, but they dismissed. So small businesses will have to be paid only 70% of their revenue. If people are checking out on a website, on the web version is fine, but we know that most of the traffic on Facebook is on mobile. And just to dig a big more on this argument with Facebook and Apple, Apple made a statement that the iOS 14 will actually require users to give permission to track them across apps and websites, and this will directly impact the Facebook audience network. For those who don't know, when we advertise on Facebook and Instagram, we have the option of not only advertising on Facebook newsfeed, Facebook right-hand side, Facebook in video, Instagram stories, but also on the Messenger. And another placement is Facebook Audience Network, which is heavily dependent on app advertising. We've seen really good results from Audience Network. And with this new iOS 14, what will happen is that for iOS users that don't accept this cross-app tracking, it means that we won't have visibility in the audience network. And I put a graph in here. So in the UK in 2019, almost 50% of the market is iOS. So this means that one specific placement on Facebook will be massively dismissed because of this new update. The update was supposed to be this year, but then Apple gave a statement in the beginning of September saying that they will postpone to early of next year. This is something to take into consideration because prices might increase across Facebook campaigns because there will be more competitivity across these, the other placements. And I thought I would bring this as a discussion point because Instagram launched Instagram Reels, which is basically the same format as TikTok. So it's a 15-second multi-clip video. It's very, very similar to TikTok. And I thought it would be interesting to see how this will impact TikTok, because when Instagram launched Instagram Stories, which was basically copying Snapchat, we saw that the volume of users in Snapchat tanked while Instagram increased. So is this going to be happening across TikTok and Instagram? We need to see the next chapters. Some good news on Facebook. I've been saying this for years, but basically Facebook's recommendation, as most of you know, is to have less than 20% text on the Facebook images. This is because you don't want to disrupt the Facebook navigation. Most of the people post pictures and videos and not necessarily like a heavily texted image. But now Facebook is saying they are not going to penalize if you have more than 20%. So what used to happen was if you have more than 20%, Facebook would limit the reach of your creatives, but now they are not going to limit. However, the recommendation is still to have 20% text or less. Now, not on Facebook, but going to Google. Google launched what they call Shoploop, which they say is an entertaining new way to shop online. There isn't that much information around Shoploop because it's so new. I contacted our Google rep to see advertising opportunities, but again, this is so new that even he doesn't know that much. So it's good to keep an eye for future opportunities. But it looks really similar to Instagram and is only available on mobile web. So if you go to Shoploop website, they will show, like on this GIF, what the navigation looks like. It's very similar to Instagram, but it's basically bloggers reviewing products, and you can buy the product directly from there. And I thought it would be relevant to finish the conversation on social on the big war between Trump and TikTok mainly. Initially it was TikTok and WeChat. So basically, Trump, for those who don't know, Trump wanted to ban TikTok from the US because he stated that they were capturing information from users such as location data, browsing, and search histories, and he wasn't comfortable with that. So he asked either you negotiate with a US company or you are banned from the US. In the other news, Oracle confirmed that they are going to partner with ByteDance, which is TikTok's company, and they will take care of this privacy side of things. So hopefully TikTok won't be banned from the US.